All right, we've got a fun one for you guys today. Today we're gonna take a look at some of the top things to do when moving to Phoenix, and we're gonna do a underrated versus overrated. I've got a special guest joining me that's gonna give her take on it. Somebody who has only been here in Arizona for a few years, so I think her insight will be helpful to you as well. So if you're looking to find out some of the best things to do, then stay tuned. What's up, everybody? It's Greg Corbett with the AZ Lifestyle Group right here in Scottsdale, Arizona. If this is your first time to this channel and you're looking to find out everything you need to know about what it's like living in and or moving to the Phoenix metro area, including all the best things to do when you're moving here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can be notified whenever we post a new video. We are helping people from all over when it comes to finding the best places and neighborhoods to live here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about making a move and you need any assistance whatsoever, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email. However you want to get a hold of us, we got your back when it comes to moving to the Phoenix metro. All right, guys, we are here at Top Golf in Scottsdale. Like I mentioned, we've got a special guest today. I'm here with Lexy Romano with Phoenix Finds. Lexy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. We wanted to come. We wanted to shoot in a fun spot, so we came here at Top Golf. We might have a little music going on, but
it's a little loud, but it's not too bad.
We're going to try to talk over it, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this. But we're going to go through some of the most popular things to do when people are moving here. You know, obviously if you're living here or whether you're moving here, we want to kind of share some of the things and kind of go through some underrated, overrated, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Lexy's very nice. We just actually met, but I reached out to Lexy because she's doing really cool things online right now. She's promoting a lot of the small businesses here in the Phoenix area. And you've only lived here for a few years, right?
Yeah, it's coming up on my 4-year anniversary.
4-year anniversary.
October. Yeah.
So I think that's a lot of the reason why I wanted to bring Lexy on, is because she's going to have some of those experiences being newer to the Valley. I've obviously been here for a very long time, but I wanted to get your impression on this. I think you've seen a lot. You've kind of done a lot of things. If you haven't done it, no worries. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to go over the list for you guys and then stick around to the end so you guys can hear a little bit more about Lexy, kind of find out how you can follow her as well, because she's putting out some really good content right now about the Phoenix area that I think will be helpful to our viewers.
Yeah.
All right, Lexy, so let's get into it. I got my list in front of me. We're going to go through these. You know, most of these you probably heard of, but we want to kind of give you our thoughts on them and kind of discuss this. Let's go over one of my main, one of the things that I find to be one of the most popular things here. I don't think you've been there yet, but I want to hear what you've heard about it. That is the Waste Management Open. We're not too far away from where they hold that here in Scottsdale. It's probably one of the most popular events coming up in January, end of February. You're saying you haven't been there yet?
So I haven't been there. So I know it's actually coming up pretty soon. So if anybody has an extra ticket, holler at your girl. But I haven't been, but I've heard amazing things about it. And so we're doing overrated versus underrated.
Yep.
So, okay, so I'm going to cast my vote for this for not overrated, underrated, because I think what's great about it is that it brings so many people together. It brings people into Arizona, and it's just a really fun outdoor event. And I'm going to say underrated.
Yeah, it's hard to say that the Phoenix Open / Waste Management Open is underrated because everybody knows about it. But on this one, I'm going to agree with you.
Okay.
And I love this thing. So, you know, I'm a little biased here, but I think it's one of the best events you can find in Arizona. It definitely brings a lot of fun people together. I'm actually giving it underrated even more this year because of what we went through last year, not really having the Phoenix Open open because of COVID. Right. I'm super excited to have 2022 coming and it being one of the best events probably of the year. So for anybody who's looking to move out here in the near future, definitely get out here and move out here before January, February.
Absolutely.
All right, moving on to our next one. This happens around the same time as the Phoenix Open, so I kind of have it in the same, don't know if you've been there yet. We're talking about Barrett Jackson, and let's just talk about some of the car auctions. Barrett Jackson's probably one of the most well-known. Been to Barrett Jackson?
I haven't, no. Another one right off the bat that I haven't been to. So again, I can't speak to it personally, I'm probably gonna give this one another underrated because it's the same kind of thing, right? It brings people together.
Yeah.
I love that it brings a lot of commerce into our towns,
Yep.
into our state.
Yep.
So I just think that's really cool. I'm gonna give it an underrated. And the
All right.
Misters just came
The
on
Misters came- that's
nice
fantastic.
and strong. I love it.
We had to turn the fans off because we're already talking over the music, but the Misters are fantastic. I like Barrett Jackson as well, and so the one thing, and I'm going to try to be critical. We're not going to have underrated, overrated, and say everything is underrated. I'm going to go with Barrett Jackson being overrated on my side.
Okay.
I enjoy going to Barrett Jackson. Part of the reason I think it's overrated is I'm not wealthy enough to buy a car there.
So maybe that's what it is. You
But-
have to be of a certain echelon.
I mean, obviously anybody can go and look around there. I mean, if you're a true car person, I mean, the scenery there is really cool, but it has gotten so much more expensive year after year after year. That is one of the things that I'm probably going to be a little bit more nitpicky on when I call things overrated, is the cost to get in to kind of really experience this.
Okay, sure.
So that's where I'm going to give it an overrated. If you haven't been there and you're a car person, you got to go check it out at least once. But on an overall scale, what we're talking about here, I'm going to go overrated on this one. Real quick, you guys, before we get into this, one thing I want to clarify, we're going to talk today about some of the events here in town and some of the paid attractions. We're going to leave anything out when it comes to doing like some of the sites and hiking and biking, any of the nature stuff in Arizona that you all go out and do for free. That is a completely different video. This is going to be focused on some of the events and paid attractions. Just want to give you guys a heads up on that so you are clear on our list. All right, next on our list, we are going to talk about another big attraction when it comes to people coming into here to Arizona. That is spring training. Lexi, what's your experience with spring training so far here in Arizona?
You know, I love spring training. I'm so a baseball girl. Love it. I'm all about it. But I'm going to have to go overrated on this one just because
I'm surprised by this.
I know, finally one. No, just because, and I'm not saying it's not fantastic and it's not something you should experience, but it's overrated in the fact that it was so crowded when I went that I almost felt like I couldn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I understand there's going to be crowds places, but man, I love baseball games normally because they're a little more chilled out. They're a little more laid back. You can get up, walk around, everybody's having a beer, everybody's hanging out. Spring training just has a different energy. There's so many more people. It's a lot of people from out of town. So I'm going to go overrated on this one.
Yeah, it's another tough one. Kind of like, you know, it's hard to have it underrated because everybody knows about it.
Right.
So you can't be like, hey, nobody knows about spring
Right,
training.
it's so underrated. Go check it out.
And I have mixed feelings on this too. I love spring training. I love everything that it brings to our area. I mean, I think our spring training is definitely better than what they have in Florida with everybody being so far apart.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of advantages. I've had a lot of good times. I'm going to talk a little bit about overrated to a certain extent, well, because of how expensive it has gotten. Again, my big thing is like spring training used to be you could go in, get a ticket for $10, go enjoy your day.
Yeah.
Now you're spending like $50 to $100 to get in.
Oh, man.
And then you're paying like 10 to 15 bucks for a drink.
Right.
I mean, you're spending so much money, and this is something that you want to bring your kids to. Like, it's an experience. A lot of people come to spend a lot of money here, but now that it's gotten as expensive as it has, it just I'll maybe try to hit one game a year now, if that. And so I like a lot of aspects, but I agree with you on the overrated part.
Sorry, spring training.
It is what it is. All right, next up on our list are kind of has to do with the resorts here. We're going to call it staycations. It's a huge thing that happens here in Arizona. I imagine maybe it happens in other places too, but I think it's a very popular thing here because people get to the summer and they're just like, hey, I need to leave my backyard and go to somebody else's pool. And so staycations become a thing. Or maybe, you don't have kids yet. My wife and I just had a little one a couple years ago.
Congratulations, yep.
Thank you. And then you kind of just need to get out of the house and do something different.
Yes. Mix it up.
So you can stay together as a couple.
Right.
But so staycation. So have you taken any staycations since you've been here?
You know what? I have. I love staycations. Again, I'm going to go underrated on this one. I don't think we talk about it enough. I think there are so many awesome, like you said, resorts. So many cool, like just beautiful hotels, inns, and I really think it's it's great in the summer or the winter, but in the summer what's so cool is that there's not as many people coming here.
Yeah.
And so the staycation deals are out of this world.
Good
like
point.
you can go to the Scott, you can go to the Princess, you can
Yeah.
go to Hermosa Inn, some of these amazing, gorgeous, beautiful resort spaces
Yeah.
for a fraction of what you would pay during season.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you're already here. We live here, you know, if you're moving here, you're already gonna be here. So you might as well enjoy it and do something a little fancier for yourself during those summer months.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like going on vacation while you're here, but you only have to drive like 5 to 10 minutes to get there, depending
Right.
on where you're at around
Yeah.
town. And I know we did it a couple times here last year.
Mhm.
There are so many good spots. It's hard to name a bunch. I mean, I know you
So
just
many.
named a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoy it. I think I would call it underrated as well. I think
Yeah.
it's becoming more of a thing, but it's definitely underrated for people who are looking to move here, because I don't think as many people know about it as a thing. Maybe you come out here, maybe you've done it as a visitor, that type of thing before you come out. But as a just a kind of a way to get away from your house for a weekend, definitely underrated, and something you should do for sure.
Absolutely, yep.
All right, if you guys are liking the content so far, please consider giving us a like button. I know the music's a little loud, so don't get us
Don't
give
judge us too much.
Don't judge us on that. But if this is helpful at all, definitely appreciate you guys hitting the like button. It helps us know if we're putting out the right content. Definitely helps us to spread it to more people. We definitely appreciate it. All right, let's get into some of the events that maybe might not be as well known, but we want to definitely bring them up because they're a big part of what's going on here in the Phoenix area. And one thing I want to ask about is First Friday. I think First Friday is a really cool event that happens downtown.
Yeah.
Have you been to First Friday?
I have been to First Friday. I love First Friday. Highly recommend it. Not only
How would you
because-
describe it to people?
So it's almost like an outdoor street fair in a way.
Yeah.
But it's bigger than that. It encompasses so many businesses. I love that it's
Yep.
the local businesses. It's right there on Roosevelt Row.
Yep.
So you can kind of like walk up and down and like patronize all those different places,
Yep.
which is really cool. Some of my favorite spots are right there on Roosevelt Row.
Yeah.
Definitely like a bunch of great spots. And I just love that it's so like art centric.
Yep.
That it's really focused on local. It's really focused on artists, small businesses.
Yeah.
I just think it's really communal. Like, again, what you were talking about earlier, that in 2020, you know, a lot of stuff was postponed, and I
Yeah.
know they did stop First Fridays for a while. So I feel like everybody's really thankful to have those things back.
Yeah.
And I would definitely put this one as underrated. I think people in Arizona know about it, but maybe not new people moving here.
Yeah.
So I'd highly recommend checking out. It is worth it. It is really fun.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
I agree. I've only been there a couple times actually, but it's right near downtown Phoenix, right off the I-10 on Roosevelt Row, like you said. A lot of small businesses. You get like an eclectic crowd. It's very diverse. You get a bunch of different people, but that's what makes it super cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to say underrated too, because a lot of people don't really know about it. And as much as I don't go and experience it as much as I should, anytime I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that would be kind of fun to go down. You just get to see, you know, a lot of different things that most of Phoenix doesn't have to offer. So I definitely would call it underrated as well, and recommend you guys checking it out.
And you know, it's something to your point
Yeah.
that you were saying some of these other things are really expensive. I think First Friday, you can get away
Yeah.
with doing it either on the cheap or maybe almost for free. Like,
Yeah.
it's really affordable. It's something that you can just kind of walk in. And just the environment, sometimes there will be like performers out on the street.
Yeah.
It's just cool, and you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. It's great.
That's true, because you know I didn't think about it as an unpaid event, because I think like when you go there, typically you're going to go in and
You will
spend a little bit of
patronize,
money,
yeah,
that type of
absolutely,
thing. But you don't have to.
spend
Yeah.
a lot.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
So you can control your budget there for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, it's cool.
Good point.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know, taking a page from First Friday, because I think, you know, Phoenix is not, from my perspective, I don't think Phoenix is super well known for its, you know, art and museum scene.
Culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even as a person who, you know, I'll admit that I'm not super into a ton of this stuff, but anytime I have, let's talk about the museum scene, the art scene. Now as a parent, I'm bringing my daughter to a lot of this stuff too, and I'm finding that we have such a cool amount of places that not many people might know about. So I definitely wanted to bring up, what's your experience with some of the museums and some of the art scene?
Yeah, you know, I think I'm probably, again, going to
Yeah.
rate this underrated, because I just think people don't talk about it enough. And the museum scene here is actually really, really cool. I mean, personally for me, the Heard Museum I love. The Musical Instrument Museum is awesome.
I have not been there yet. I hear amazing things about it.
It is really cool. It's a whole day experience, and it's really beautiful. And I am a singer, so for me, it was really special.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the museum scene here, we have a lot more culture than people know.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that we have a lot of these museums that bring in some of our like native culture here in Arizona and some of that history, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna say underrated.
Underrated.
Underrated on that one. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, I've been here since 1993, and I'm still learning about some of these places and going. And there's still a couple places that I haven't been. I have been to the Heard Museum. I think that's great. Still looking to go to the Musical Instrument Museum. But you know, Taliesin West, I've heard nothing but great things about. That is kind of inspired by Frank Lloyd Wright. One of his initial houses that's out in Scottsdale. I hear nothing but great things about that. I think I wrote a couple more down here. The Children's Museum. Actually, my wife and daughter are there right now.
I have been there. Oh, fun!
And that place is amazing for kids.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
I've been there. I don't have children, nor am I a child, but it's fun for all ages.
It doesn't matter. You can still go and have a good time.
Exactly.
What are some of the other places? Because I had to write some of these things down. Like the Phoenix Art Museum is great. The Museum of Natural History is really good here too. And you mentioned some of the native culture that we have. One of the cool things about Scottsdale in general, like just going into Old Town, you see a lot of the native culture. You see what's going on. The Art Walk in Scottsdale, we're talking about just bringing up other art exhibits.
Yeah.
I mean, so we really have a lot more. So even for people that should, you know, be more appreciative of it, because I'm definitely not as appreciative as I should be. Anytime I go, I really appreciate or really enjoy it. So I'll call it underrated too.
Nice.
All right. All right, next up, Lexi, I've got our professional sports team. We'll include some of our college teams too. I'll put ASU in here too.
Okay.
But let's talk about Cardinals, Diamondbacks, Suns. Who am I missing? The Coyotes and Sun Devils. I'm probably missing. I don't know, what am I missing?
More of them.
But let's talk about going to some of the professional teams, checking that out. Have you been able to go to a game?
I have. I've gone to a couple. I've gone to a Coyotes game. I've gone to a couple D-backs games. And don't get me wrong, because I love going to games. It is so much fun. But I'm gonna say overrated just because, and hear me out, just because everybody knows about it. So it's not that it's underrated, because we already talk about it. People rate it all the time. We talk about it all the time. And it is getting more and more expensive all the time, getting more and more crowded. I mean, the last time I went to a game, the traffic that I sat in trying to get out of it was like, are we in California right now? Like, what's going on? So I'm gonna go overrated just for those little things, but they're still great. They're still fun.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a tricky one because I would probably tend to agree with you for the most part, especially, you know, prior to this year. I'm one of those fans that maybe, I don't know, but like if our team sucks, it's definitely overrated. I don't want to go see bad sports. So like we've had a lot of that here over the last 10 years. It's been bad. This year we're turning it around a little bit. Maybe the Cardinals are going to be good this year.
It looks like they are. Yeah, it looks like so far. I mean, we're not very far into it. But
one game in, but they look good so far. We'll see. I don't want to jinx it.
There you go.
But the Suns were all. I did get to go. Thank you to a good friend of mine who allowed me to go to one of the finals games to see the Suns.
Man, that was awesome.
That was really great. Although the ticket pricing is insane. So it does. It boils down to cost of admission versus the comfort of your living room.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Too.
Yeah.
And now with the comfort of your living room, you can kind of enjoy most of this stuff. So. It's worth going at every now and then, and especially if the teams are playing well, it's good to go support them. But it's probably still a little bit overrated for me. Just a little. But I'm still going to root for you.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, let's move on to some of the festivals here in Arizona. I think you know we're in kind of a party scene in Arizona in general. Like people tend to like to party. It's just
I do.
You're out. You get to spend a lot of time outside. I haven't been able to do it as much lately, but I've spent a lot of time doing it in the past, and hopefully I can continue doing it. But I think there's some cool festivals. Have you been to any throughout the year? Because they're year round. There's some great festivals. Anything that you have been through that you like, dislike? in between?
You know, I love festivals. I love anything outside, especially,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
especially like the food festivals.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. The taco festival.
Yeah.
There was the mac and cheese festival a while ago.
I didn't even know about a mac and cheese.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, come on, that's gonna be great no matter what.
Yeah, true.
You know, I think those are fun. I think it gets people outside. It gets people together, chatting.
Yeah.
And there's food there, so
Yeah.
I say underrated.
And there's usually booze there too.
and booze, food and booze. So
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah, count us in.
Absolutely.
One of my favorites is, and this is definitely like a must-do, is the Culinary Arts Festival in Scottsdale. And that's
Okay.
every April. Have you been to Culinary
I
Arts?
haven't. No.
That's I mean, crowd.
Sure.
Probably more expensive now. So like
Okay.
if we're kind of using some of the same things, it might be on going to the Overrated to a certain
Alright,
extent. But
alright.
I haven't been there in a few years, and
when you
because I
went-
miss it,
It was good.
I'm probably going to call it underrated. Right now.
All right.
And everybody
Oh,
needs to experience it. But
Nice.
yeah, I would say check that out. The Taco Fest is great.
Yeah.
There are beer festivals.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oktoberfest is coming up.
It is. I know.
Oktoberfest,
So
so-
excited.
Yeah.
There's some cool festivals
So
going
yeah,
on.
like Arizona does a pretty good job with that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's probably no Summerfest like they have out in Wisconsin. I haven't been there. I've heard that's amazing, but we do a good job.
You do.
Yeah. All right, the next one we're going to kind of put two together because they're right next to each other. This is near Papago Park in Tempe. We're going to talk about the Phoenix Zoo and the Desert Botanical Garden. I don't know, maybe they should be separate, but I'm going to put them together anyway.
That's good.
Have you been to?
I have. I've been to both.
Yeah.
I love both. The zoo's great. It's so fun,
Yeah.
especially if you have kids.
Yeah.
Great thing to go do. But I love the Botanical Garden. Like, if you are new to Arizona, you have to go to the Desert Botanical Garden.
Yeah.
So we went when we first moved here, my husband and I. My husband's from upstate New York.
Yeah.
So he just loved it. It's
Okay.
so different for him,
Yeah.
different from anything he's seen growing up, on the East Coast. And it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
so gorgeous. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And I do think it's really underrated. I don't think people talk about it enough.
Yeah, talk about it a little bit because, I mean, it's a lot of different, people don't realize how many plants, thrive in the desert.
Oh, yeah.
And the flowers and that type of thing. And so when you go there, you really realize, why the desert is so beautiful in certain areas and that type of thing. So I agree. We tend to spend a lot of time at the zoo because you get a season pass at the zoo. You can spend, a little amount of money for your whole family to go anytime you want to go to the
that's
zoo,
cool.
which
See,
is
I didn't know they did
fantastic.
that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so, and I think you can do it at Desert Botanical Garden as well, but because we have our daughter, we spend more time at the zoo. But I
Sure.
think either one of them, would be underrated based on that.
Yeah.
Because if you can spend a little bit of money, again, I'm huge on value,
Get a lot of time.
and be able to go back and enjoy it a little bit. And they're
Yeah.
both great during the holidays. So if you want to
Yes.
spend
Ah.
time to have, we're not a very holiday-oriented state in my mind.
We don't
'cause
get
it's
a
just
white
hot.
Christmas.
No,
Yeah.
it's too hot here. But we try to decorate.
Yeah, to make up for it.
Yeah, so
Zoo
zoo
lights.
lights, and then they do a really good job decorating the botanical gardens as well. There's a lot of cool things on that.
Yeah.
So just for those reasons in general, I think it would probably be underrated on my mind. All right, we got to bring this up because everybody talks about it in Arizona. It might be short for us, but we're going to talk about golf in general. There's a million different golf courses, so I'm not going to talk about golf courses specifically. Do you golf?
But no.
We're at Top Golf. Does that count?
I can top golf.
Mini golf?
I can mini golf. I don't real people golf, though.
Don't real people? I don't know. What's real? I don't spend a lot of time golfing either. I mean, if there's a charity event, I'll go
Yeah.
and do that. I'm horrible. I'm a horrible golfer. I'll say we have some of the best courses around, so that's great. But everybody knows that, so I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to call it underrated.
Right.
It's really expensive, so that gets a little overrated. You can golf for cheap during the summer, but it's really hot out.
Yeah. So
I'll say overrated.
I'm gonna agree.
You know.
I'm gonna agree.
Yeah, it is what it is. Sorry, golf.
Sorry.
All right, so I actually can see one right behind me right now. Let's talk about casinos in Arizona.
Okay.
There's actually a pretty decent casino scene. They're all anything on reservation land. There's typically a casino now nearby. It's how they generate a lot of their money, and people like to go. People like to gamble. Are you a gambler?
Not at all.
No gambling
Not
for you.
at
No
all.
blackjack. No.
No.
All right.
Don't want to test my luck with any of that.
Yeah,
No, sir.
I mean, anytime I've gone to, have you gone in one?
I go pretty frequently just because there's a lot of musical events.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, I think they're really cool. I'm not going to knock them. I don't gamble. I don't go there for gambling. But I do love the environment.
So you save money.
Atmosphere. I save money. I go in and I watch other people spend money.
Right.
It's almost the same amount of fun. But no, I think they're great. I think our casino scene here is awesome. And I love that it's also like a great musical scene. There's a lot of like live music going, great restaurants. I like it. I dig it. I say underrated.
I think I think you make a good point when it comes to like the musical scene and kind of some of the comic scene. Like you might be able to go to other events. They do a cool like pool scene like during the summer, that type of thing. So there's other things going on that you can hit too. Yeah, I probably would have said overrated until we just talked about it. Now I might go underrated just because I forget about some of the cool things you can do. Now, and the other thing, I want to mention this because it's kind of new to Arizona. I don't think it's going to be at the casinos, but I'm going to put it in the same conversation. Sports gambling is now going to be open. I don't know if the casinos are going to be doing it, but a lot of the sporting venues are going to be doing it. So we're going to have some of the people being able to legally bet on sports.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's great. I think it helps people be a little more invested in the game. And, you know, if you have a little something riding on it. I don't know that I would do it myself, but I think it's cool. I think that's great.
We have to put the disclaimer. If you have a problem gambling, get some help.
Yes.
Get some help.
Yes.
I do have a problem. Not that I gamble, but if I do, I get really angry because I always lose. So that makes me not want to bet on sports.
I mean, who thinks like when you walk into a casino that you're gonna win? I mean, really.
I have a few people I know that think they're gonna win all the time.
Man, I don't know. It just feels like the house is really. They didn't build this beautiful casino around you because everybody's winning in there. Like.
I won't even play fantasy football because I get upset over like putting $50 in for the whole season and then my team sucks. So I try to stay away from it just from that. But so
you gotta know yourself.
Yeah, know yourself. We'll call casinos underrated. We'll call gambling overrated.
Done.
How about that?
Yes.
There we go. All right, Lexi, we've talked about a lot. I'm sure there's a few things we've missed.
Probably,
but you know, we don't want to bore you guys too much with all this stuff. But I do want to ask you if there's anything that we've missed that maybe is kind of under the radar. I mean, you go out, you talk to small businesses all the time. Is there anything that kind of maybe we haven't talked about that's not like a big, well-known name here in the Phoenix area, but you're like, hey, you guys should check this out?
You know, I'm going to go with something, you know, you'll probably laugh and, you know, tell me I'm a boozer or whatever, but that's okay.
Hey,
I think
I'm having a beer and she's not, so I'm the boozer.
But I think our wine scene out here, I think it's super underrated because you don't really think Arizona when you think of wineries, but we actually have an amazing like wine trail. We have awesome spots in Sedona, in Wilcox, but even just here in town, there's a whole wine tasting trail in Scottsdale. That's actually really, really fun.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, and it's all like, well, not all, but a lot of it is local wine.
Yeah.
And so I just think our wine scene here is super underrated, and I think, people need to go out to wine bars more. It's just fun. It's cool.
I'm glad you brought that up because I totally spaced that from the list when I was like going through and writing stuff down. So to me, that's definitely underrated because I don't even remember it half the time.
Right, there you go.
It's definitely not known for being a wine scene, but there are a lot of cool wineries, even like when you go up to Sedona, Prescott, Cottonwood, a lot of the cool little northern Arizona towns have, just a cool vibe, a cool scene.
Yeah.
That's a great one to bring up. So I like that you brought that up. I'm going to bring up one that I haven't done yet, but my wife and I are going to be doing in November.
Okay.
It's I don't know if you've heard of this company. It's called Cloth and Flame. I found them on Instagram like I did you. They do like private events. They do like dinner events out in like some of the most beautiful parts of Arizona. I think they're kind of going outside of Arizona a little bit now too. Check them out on Instagram, Cloth and Flame. We're finally doing a dinner that's out in the Superstition Mountains. They set up just the most beautiful scenic atmosphere.
Oh, wow.
And we've got Chris Bianco as our chef.
Wow,
famously
no
from
way.
Pizzeria Bianco. He's going to be coming out. He's going to be the chef for that dinner. I mean, I'm super stoked. So that's one that I think is really under the radar here. If you come out and get a chance, it's $165 a person ticket wise, so it's a higher end ticket. But I'm Like they sold out in probably like 4 hours. I'm so glad that we were even able to get it.
So
to
worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it. Underrated and worth it. Oh, that's so awesome.
So I'll try to do a video on that when we go do that. That's going to be in about a month or two from now. But I'm stoked to do that. So you'll have to check that out too.
I absolutely will. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. One more thing. I mean, we can't not talk about Top Golf since we're sitting here. They're hosting us right now for this video. We thought it'd be a cool place to shoot. I mean, the views are amazing.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Sometimes the lighting isn't great on the camera, but we'll here. That's our little bay right now. But so I know when you were coming in here, you said Top Golf is totally overrated. I'm just kidding. That's not what you said.
I definitely did not say that. No, I love Top Golf. Whenever we have family come in from out of town, which we do, because my family's in California, my husband's family's in New York, we always bring people to Top Golf because it's just fun. It's outdoors. It's a beautiful view. Like, you get to drink, you get to eat, and you get to do something fun and active. I absolutely love Top Golf. Underrated from me.
Yeah, no, we were talking about golf a little bit before. For people who suck at golf or don't golf, I mean, I suck at golf. You might be good at golfing, you just don't golf.
Oh God, no, I'm terrible.
But for people who are like, it's fun. Like you come out here. I mean, you know, you don't have to be good at golf to enjoy coming out, hitting the ball here. Obviously, have a drink, have a bite to eat while you're coming out here. Bring a group of people. I really like when you're bringing a group out here, have fun together. It's definitely a great spot to bring a group of people, share in the cost.
Yeah.
It can be pretty affordable if you've got a good group out here.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if you get here early, like it's super cheap. My wife and I have come out a couple times just to kind of go hang out and like play a game like early in the morning, and you get super cheap rates. So I think we'll call Top Golf underrated, especially because we're here right now. What are we gonna do? All right, Lexi, time for even more fun. Now that we've gone through the list, I want people to get to know you and kind of why they should maybe look at following some of the stuff you're doing right now. And shoot, I'm getting to know Lexi right now too. So let's do 5 questions for Lexi to kind of find out a little bit more about your background, what's going on, and how to follow you in general. What brought you to Arizona?
So I am originally from Southern California.
Okay.
I was living in New York City.
Yep.
And when I met my husband, he and I got engaged, and he was getting his master's out here at ASU. So I moved out here.
Did you move from California or move from New York?
I moved here from New York.
Okay, so now you can't give her crap because she's not bringing California. I don't know.
Exactly.
Everybody gets all upset if you move from California.
From California, no. I came here from New York City, so a little bit by route of New York City.
Yeah. There you go. But I apologize. So
No worries.
I was gonna. So you came here because of your husband?
Came here because of him. He was getting his master's, so he's a Sun Devil.
Okay.
Getting his master's
All right.
at
There you
ASU
go. All right.
in musical
Go
direction.
Devils.
Yeah, exactly. And we ended up falling in love with it and staying.
All right.
I always thought we would go back to New York,
Yeah.
but we fell in love with that out here and got great jobs, and we're really thankful. And
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. After being here for almost 4 years, any big surprises? Anything that you're like, good, bad, and different? Let's focus more on bad. We're about all telling people like the good and the bad. We've focused on a lot of positives.
Yeah.
Anything that like you're like, I don't really like that.
You know, okay. There's two things. One is super obvious. It is really hot here.
Yeah.
That is something
I've never said that in any of my videos.
Never, ever. Everybody's like, what? It's hot in Arizona?
Yeah.
No, it is really hot here. So that is something that you kind of have to get used to. You kind of have to prepare for. And my first summer here, I definitely wasn't prepared for it.
Yeah.
It's tough. But, you know, you acclimate and you kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
And then it kind of becomes normal. But the only other bad thing that I would say about here, I'm sorry, scorpions, I'm not cool with it. Not okay with it.
I don't know. I mean, most people love scorpions.
I know. It's such a shocker. Yeah,
Have you been stung by a scorpion?
No. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Where's the wood? No.
I know. I've never been stung by one, but I have found a couple in our place, and it is not a pleasant surprise. And they're just creepy.
Where do you live? Don't tell me the neighborhood.
North Phoenix.
North Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it near a mountain?
Kind of ish.
Yeah.
Near-ish.
You get that a little bit in there, yeah.
So yeah. So my only two really like icky things.
Yeah, I've only been
Arizona.
stung once by a scorpion.
But you've actually been stung.
Yeah, and
I
it
hear
sucked.
it's painful. Yeah, I hear it's really
It
bad.
wasn't fun. The little ones, they'll get you because
The little white ones, right?
and they're like clear.
Yes. Ooh,
They're
la,
clear.
la, la, la.
And
Freaks
they're
me out.
younger and they don't know how to control their poison, so they just give it all to you at once, and then your life sucks for about 24 hours.
Oh,
But that was like when I was probably like 20 years old. That was in Tempe. I wasn't even out like on a mountain or anything.
Right.
It was kind of random, but
So avoid the scorpions
yeah,
at
so
all costs.
Scorpion's bad.
Yes.
Yeah. What's your favorite city here?
You know, I love Phoenix. I know that sounds super typical, but I just think Phoenix because it's such a
The
big,
city of Phoenix.
The city of
Yep.
Phoenix.
Okay.
Because it's such a large city, there's so many things
Yep.
in it. There's the downtown city vibe. There's
Yep.
the hiking vibe. There's more like suburban areas. Like I just think Phoenix kind of has it all. Like I love Phoenix, and it's a little bit, even though Scottsdale's so beautiful, Paradise Valley is
Yep.
so beautiful.
Yep.
It's a little less assuming. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit more
Yep.
like down to earth, friendly. I love the city.
All right, so Phoenix, good. What's the city that you would not live in? You don't have to answer
In
that if you want.
Arizona, I don't think there's any city that I particularly wouldn't live in, but I maybe wouldn't go like super far east or super
Yeah.
far west, because then you just feel like you're kind of polarized
Yeah.
on two sides, you know.
I'm gonna say I don't really. I mean, if you guys want to call us and talk to us about, it, we can talk about that later. But we'll go through that another time. Anything you think people should know about before they come here, outside of the heat? Anything like, and maybe this gets into like what you've talked about before. But is there anything that you would say before you come here, you should do this?
To like do something, I don't know about that, but definitely be prepared.
Like things to know about.
Yeah, definitely be prepared for things to be really spread out, a lot more
Yep.
spread out than other places. Like if I have a 20-minute drive now, that's like short
Yeah.
to me. That's like, oh, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Because things are so spread apart. Things are really far away from each other. So that's something to prepare for. And then I don't know. I think it's great out here. I think the only thing to prepare for, would kind of be the lifestyle change, the dryness, the aridness of our climate. I definitely did have to start drinking more water, taking better care of my hair and my
Yeah.
skin. It's so dry out here. So that's a real thing.
Yeah, it has its pros and cons.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, okay, I like that. And then let's talk about where people can find you.
Yeah.
Where do people find you online?
Oh my gosh. So here on YouTube, you can find me. I'm at Phoenix Finds Show.
Yep.
So it's the
We'll put
same.
that right down here on the screen so you guys can see it.
And then I'm also on social media, so I'm on Instagram, and that's PHX Finds, so PHXFINDS
Yeah.
show. Same on Facebook, and our website is phxfinds.org.
Yeah, so if you guys are watching this from afar, definitely check out Lexy and her channel to see some of the spotlights you guys are doing. Like I
Yeah.
think you're doing a fantastic job on
Thanks.
that, spotlighting some of the local businesses. And if you happen to be watching this in your local business, reach out if you want to be
Yeah.
spotlighted, because you're now not only are you on YouTube and some of the social media, you're now on local TV. Is that right?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
We air every Saturday on AZTV7, so you can check us out there.
Nice.
You can watch us on their app.
It's big time.
You know what? It's pretty cool. It's
Sitting with
pretty
a
fun.
celebrity.
I don't know about that, but no, it's
I-
fun. I'm really
I get it.
thankful. It's
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming and joining us
Thank you
and,
for
and
having
giving your
me.
insight on what's going on. Hopefully you guys got a little bit out of this. Let us know down in the comments if you agree, disagree, anything that we might have missed. Love to hear from you on that. Definitely follow Lexy and see what she's doing. And reach out to us if you guys are looking to make a move. Definitely give us a call. Let us know how we can help you in your move here to Phoenix, anywhere in the valley, that type of thing. We're here to help you. Until next time, we'll catch you guys on the next video.